I like those.
Okay, congratulations, Team Canada. We'll take about 10 to 15 minutes of questions.
Okay.
Hey guys, Adam with Akshon esports. So as the series went on, it looked like each game got closer and closer. Were you guys kind of sweating it all by the end there, or what was that like?
Akshon, while we barely scrimmed, and Temple of Anubis is always weird, especially when both teams are good. It seems like we were both good at offense, but both like defense.
Yeah, like you said, wow, okay. Like you said, TCP is sometimes like they'll just like cap 2 points really fast, or they'll cap first with a one fight, and it's super sporadic how the results go, and it's very, very hard to predict sometimes. And also on the first map, I wasn't feeling it too much, and my mouse was kind of buggy. I have like a wireless mouse, and it was kind of so I had to adapt a little bit more.
Hi everyone, congratulations. This question's for XQC. Are you interested in joining the Overwatch League again?
No, I don't think so. Unless like something huge happens, but I think I'm just like enjoying my time as like a streamer, and just being free and being able to do whatever. But I still enjoy competing every once in a while like this. It's a lot of fun. I love it. And yeah.
Hey guys, Adam from Akshon esports again. So throughout the series, I think we saw each and every one of you really shine. So what were some of the highlights for you? I mean, I know Bonnie got like a 4K at one point. That was awesome. Some great bombs from Note here. Any highlights for you guys?
I just hack people and annoy the hell out of them, and then get 6-man EMPs.
My favorite part was yoinking AKM scraps.
I think I got like 3-4 man nades and like back to back.
I think all of Eichenwald last probably could have been a highlight. He played amazing.
I guess my highlight was on Eichenwald second. There was a part where like, they kind of got the jump on us, and I like beat it really early and just barely saved Crimzo. So, that was like, felt good for me, because normally I save beat for a long time.
Poggers.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, this is Camus from Digital Native. I just wanted to ask you guys, I also asked the previous teams about preparation heading into this. Did you prepare specifically for France, or did you kind of just prepare like execution of certain comps? Yeah, what was your game plan heading into this match specifically?
It was like...
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
It was like the coaches, and we had some other guys on the staff that would do scouting reports, but it's not like we specifically tried to hard counter them in a way, because every team kind of practices different, so you kind of practice a lot of things, so you have a lot of ways you can counter and things that happen. And then since this guy's a big popular streamer, sometimes it's hard to get him in the lobby to scrim. So we had to work around all of our personalities too and getting scrimmed, so we probably could have scrimmed more, but coming into BlizzCon, we went really hard and did like 3 blocks a day.
Yeah, basically the preparation you have to do for a specific team comes down to what comps you expect them to play, because a lot of the time it can be a bit of a rock, paper, scissors. So we kind of got an overall impression of the meta, and then from there we decided on what comps are going to play into France based on what we think they're going to play.
What are your biggest takeaways from this matchup heading into the next round of the Overwatch World Cup?
For me, it's like slow down even more, take my time, read, talk to my team, and I feel like every time I was like one step too close, and I would get caught a lot, and I felt really bad. So I'll do better next round.
Hey guys, what's your biggest obstacle between here and the championship? What do you see as the biggest roadblock?
I mean, the way I always see it is usually it's just ourselves. I feel like as long as we play correctly and all of us are doing what we need to do, I feel like we can just be the #1 team. Whereas if we try and rush things or get in our own heads or maybe make too many mistakes, then we lose. So I feel like the only thing that's stopping us is ourselves.
A lot of people were talking about the powerhouse of France before the Cup started, and how does it feel to come out on top? People weren't considering you the underdog, but people were definitely like, France is South Korea's biggest opponent. How do you guys feel about that?
Me personally, I think of every team the same. It's just another team you have to go against and another hurdle you have to win. So every team here is like pretty good. So I feel like it's the way we won that kind of got us all pumped up. Like the end of Akshon third was like a big nail biter, and we just like clutched it out. So like you can probably see it on all of us when we finally got that win. It's like, yeah. So every team's tough. It's just basically how you win.
Adam from Akshon Esports again. So on Eichenwald third, specifically, there seemed to be a lot of these fights that looked like they were about to be over and then kind of continued on, and one of which obviously continued into a victory. How did you make those calls when to beat the early retreat or to kind of push your luck and push forward going for the win?
Man, it's pretty much just individual game sense and how you see the game. Like when you're playing the game, you kind of just see opportunities, and sometimes you take it and it's bad, and sometimes you take it as good. It's basically just listening to your intuition in the moment, because Overwatch is one of the hardest games, whereas every split-second decision will affect whether it's a win or a loss. So the thing that separates a lot of great players from like okay players is how well they're able to make the correct decision in a small amount of time.
Yeah, especially on third, since there's like the small bump at the end, it's really like go or not, and when you're committed, you're all in pretty much. And at that point, whether you commit to the fight or you lose the fight and reset. And I think on these fights, it was like such a nail biter, because you can get a shatter and kill the whole team, or you can get the same shatter, same many people, like 5-man shatter or something, but they naded just before they got shattered, so then the whole play is gone, right? So like you said, like split seconds is sometimes you just gotta go for it. And you just see it. It's game sense.
I did want to ask, what do you guys think of the duo hero, Ash? What are your impressions?
That's probably, I'm going to be the single-handedly best player at that hero, because she's literally my type of hero, semi-auto. You need a lot of precision and a lot of consistency, and I feel like if I play her enough, I'm going to make Blizzard nerf her.
Bob is awesome.
Question for Mangachu. You've been around for a while. You're known as a really flexible player, and you've been in contenders. There's obviously a different level of exposure between contenders and the Overwatch World Cup. Do you feel like you're playing for a lot more when you play in this tournament versus the contenders?
I guess so, in a different way. I mean, I'm playing against way better players. Like, being able to play against people that are on Team France was an awesome experience, because it's a little bit of a flashback from when half the team was on Rogue, and being able to play against OWL finalists like Poco was just like an amazing experience for me. So I guess you could say, yeah, the players are definitely better, but I still kind of treat both teams the same.
You guys have essentially become the gold standard of Canadian esports. So what does that mean to you to be such a shining beacon and an example for the country of Canada in esports?
I'm still waiting for my Tim Hortons sponsorship.
I guess, feels like just a really amazing opportunity. It's kind of hard to just like step back and think about it. So I guess that's why we don't really have any words for it. But just kind of like you just feel it. Feel deep down.
We'll take one more question.
This one's for Mangachu. Hey, you played in both Contenders and World Cup. I asked Zachary this earlier today. So going to the path to Overwatch League, what do you think is like the best road, like either Contenders or World Cup in terms of experience and exposure?
I'd say they both provide different things. With Contenders, you have the experience of consistently playing with one team throughout 2 or 3 months. When people on Team Canada, they have Overwatch League stuff to do, so we weren't always scrimming as consistently. But like I said before, you're playing against way better players, and with the World Cup, you have more LAN exposure, which is really important. If you don't perform on LAN, chances are Overwatch League teams aren't going to pick you up. So they both provide different things in the end.
Congrats, Canada. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Today, how'd you guys feel coming into the matches today, after the upset yesterday?
Sorry, how do we feel about the matches today compared to yesterday?
How do you feel about yesterday coming in today? Something like that?
China was a bit of a question mark because we didn't really know what they were gonna use against us. So we were kind of expecting Finland to destroy them, but that didn't exactly happen. So China came in today super aggressive, with a comp that we've basically never seen before, and it was really hard for us to adapt. And then in UK, we just popped off using the Chinese comp.
Can we increase volume? Like, it's kind of hard to hear.
Yeah, we can't hear.
Okay, do you want me to say it again?
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry.
How do you feel having this huge Canadian cheering section behind you? Does that change the way you play or how you feel while you play?
For me personally, I'm kind of antisocial. So after I'm in the game, I kind of just like zone out a lot of things. But after like you win, or if you do like a good team wipe and you hear all the cheering, it can get your adrenaline going a lot more. So for me, it's good in the moment, but like before I'm like in the moment, it's kind of like, there's a lot of people here.
What do you guys see for the China-South Korea matchup coming up?
I feel like South Korea has seen enough of China that they should be able to come up with answers to their comp that they've come out that nobody else has used at all. So I think it's going to be a lot closer than the previous matches, at least. It's really tough to say. I honestly don't know who's going to come out on top. They're both really good teams, but I think South Korea has like the experience and like the just overall high-level game sense to probably come out on top in the end. But yeah, it's going to be a close match, I hope.
From my perspective, it's going to be like a mechanics versus teamwork kind of thing, where I think China has a lot better teamwork, but Korea can have an edge in their DPS mechanics. So I think if Team Korea is able to survive the teamwork and have enough teamwork to like be able to not get hit by that aggression, just get picked off, I think they might be able to have long enough fights where Carpe or Fleta or Fate would just like kill people, or even Jonak. So it'll be really close, but if it's China's teamwork is really good, I think China will win. If China like buckles up a little bit against Korea, I think Korea will win.
Were there any particular challenges that you guys had to deal with playing back-to-back like that, especially coming off a loss in the semis?
I don't think we have too many. I think the biggest challenge is just like figuring out what we need to do or how do we need to adjust. Like, I don't think any of us get too hung up over a loss, because you just go map by map, and if you get preoccupied on thinking like, oh, that loss really sucked, this is going to happen, you're going to just be worse coming to the next map. So once we figured out like what comps we want to play and just be confident in what we're doing, it was fine.
Yeah, it like once you kind of like lose the semifinals, it kind of feels like it's a tension that's like been released, because you don't have the pressure to like win gold anymore. It's we're just there to have a good time at that point. We're still trying really hard, but we don't feel like that pressure anymore. So it's just we're just enjoying the game now.
Yeah. To add to that, I feel like whenever I lose it, I'm really like negative about myself, right? So the first time when we lost semis, I was like, that was really bad. I'm kind of bad. But then we have a second chance. It's third place match. I was like, maybe I'm not that bad. Let's go prove it, right? So that's kind of mentality there.
You guys took second last year, third this year. Congrats. How does it feel to be kind of like a World Cup favorite now? Like, Canada is synonymous with medaling in the World Cup at this point. Like, how does that feel?
Me personally, it doesn't matter too much. I've kind of just gone like, I'm going to play the best I can, and it doesn't really matter what the casters or fans or think we're going to perform, because I'm just going to do what I need to do with my team. And like, as you can see, especially in the World Cup, because it's a single limb, anything can happen. If one team is playing good that day, they could just like roll over that team, but maybe the next day they wouldn't have been able to do it. So I feel like favorites are kind of hard to determine in Overwatch, and for me, it's just like, I'm going to do what I need to do and see what happens.
Hey guys, Adam with Akshon esports again. So Team UK really defied a lot of expectations in this tournament, beating the US and going toe-to-toe with both you guys and South Korea. Do you have any particular thoughts about that team of kind of up-and-comers or things that surprised you about them?
Oh, can I start? Yeah, I want to start with that. Since I'm main tank, I'm like always the first one in front, and I see like most of what's happening in early fights, and a lot of people are giving like a lot of flack, or whatever that word is, to Muma, right? And a lot of credit to Fusions. It does have a little bit of merit, but the thing is, Kib, the guy that plays Brigitte, I feel like plays a style of Brigitte that I've never played against ever. He hides on flanks, on high grounds and stuff, and he just jumps and like 180 stuns. and they do like long range brigade flank stun shatters that nobody knows how to play against. So yeah, he gets big shatters, but that playstyle is super hard to play against, and they know how to aggress when they come out of chokes. So very hard to play, and then you have to adapt really fast. And on stage, sometimes you can't adapt that. Like all these elements at the same time, you sort of choke a little bit.
Just like this whole World Cup experience, I know some of you have been here before, others of you are maybe new to this, but like how have you guys sort of grown from this tournament?
Since this is like my third one, I wouldn't say I grew at all from it. It's always just a really good experience, and being able to hang out with the people in the same nationality and kind of like just relearn teamwork with each other. It's good, but like for most of us in OWL, we've played so many like OWL matches, and like that's like the very highest kind of skill. So like for us, we're kind of used to it. So it's more so a question of people like Mangachu and Crimzo. I think what they can get from this experience.
But I played here last year, so.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'll just answer because no one else here wants to answer. Basically, so I'm coming from Contenders, coming from Envy, and I learned a lot from this team, and like obviously, playing on LAN is really important for me. When I get into the Overwatch League, I'll be ready, and I'll be ready to dominate.
All right, awesome. Thank you very much for your time, guys.
If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and share, as it really helps out the channel quite a lot. Otherwise, be sure to subscribe and follow us on Twitter if you want to stay up to date with all of our content, and hit that bell to stay notified. This has been Darren from Akshon Esports, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.